Yeah, well, I'm driving myself back.
3 a.m. last night, and I did a rooftop. You don't know what I was doing yesterday?
Yeah.
At 6 o'clock, you're telling me I should go home. Oh, do you want to eat? Are you hungry? Those things,
Why
pass here,
serious?
pass
Is
here.
it true?
Oh, yes.
Or is it true?
That's true. They are just like African parents.
Do you know my parents never really like use corporal punishment?
Have you heard the last one?
I never been
No, I was never wrong. You are wrong for thinking I'm wrong.
Exactly.
100% there's going to be drugs there. There's going to be alcohol
It's
there.
scary, oh. Hey,
There's going to be
it's
drugs and
scary
alcohol.
what I've been hearing these days.
Charlie.
So Auntie Afi has come out. It's worrying, no. No, you can't do that.
I do it.
No, you can't do that.
I've been doing it.
No, but you can't.
I will.
Do you know why?
Continue.
No, let me tell you why you can't
Tell
do
me.
that. No, so now, okay, let me not even end my
Don't give your secrets.
At this point,
your tricks.
I think, yeah.
Stay by plan, Accra, stay by plan. All the boys, all the girls, for stay by plan. Stay by plan, stay by plan. All the boys, all the girls, for stay by plan.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Stay by Plan. I'm excited to be here. We at Skate Multimedia Studios. Whoop, 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 whoop. Literally the best studio in Accra and of course worldwide because we deal with international brands. Anyway, Zuu, how have you been? How's your week been? And all of that.
It's been okay. I've had a good time. We had a paint and sip.
Yes.
Shout out to everybody who came. It was amazing.
It was actually very fun.
It was very fun.
There was trivia as well.
We're dancing. I was showing my moves.
Yeah, just check our page for the highlights and make sure you do not miss the next one next month. I'm really tired. I'm so sorry. I'm just buying the ghost
today. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. The two of us, we give left and right.
But yeah, today is my no makeup day.
Wow.
So this is my real face, guys. It's been a while. Yeah, surprise. Some of the times that you see my face, I have been using makeup. But
today they will not get views.
Oh. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we start the topic, for me, the topic is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
It's about
Relatable.
African parents and why they never seem to let their African children grow.
Yes.
Like they always kind of like have us stuck at a certain age. So that's what I want us to talk about today. But before that, let's play a game of this or that.
Assemble.
So I don't know if you also want me to play with you or I should play alone.
Oh, I'll
Or
play.
you play alone.
I'll play some.
So should I also answer or just you?
Yeah, so you can ask me and then you
Okay.
you share your answer after that.
All right. So early mornings or late nights?
You see, when I was younger, I was an early
Hey, this or that.
Let me give context.
This or that.
When I was younger.
That's then when you say this, then you can give your context.
Okay. Right now, late nights. But when I was younger, I was 100% an early morning guy. Like the first time was my birthday and I stayed up past, like staying up into your birthday. I think I was 19 years old. That was the first time I ever stayed up into my birthday. So I've always been like a early morning person, but actually nowadays I think I've switched. I'm on the late night side because now every night I'm up at like 3 a.m. It's because of Stay by Plan. Yes.
Wow. Okay. For me, I think early mornings, not by choice, but I've been doing it for so long. Even when I have like a day off, my body by 5 a.m. I'm up. So I feel like I'm an early morning type of person.
Yeah.
However, I feel like I'm more productive at night. So it's a very weird thing for me that I'm still trying to figure out. Okay, jollof rice or fried rice?
Oh, jollof rice.
Same. I feel like jollof rice, sometimes it can even camouflage itself as fried rice.
Yeah.
Like those coffee lounge jollof rice, they will add the vegetables right now to taste like fried rice.
Yeah.
So yeah, jollof rice, definitely.
Jollof rice. If it's done well, Charlie, you can change your life.
100%. Okay. Club nights or... I know the answer for you. Let me answer for you. Club nights or chill nights in?
Oh, come on. You know me.
Of course, club nights.
Hey! I beg you.
Chill nights. Yeah, yours
I'm definitely
chill.
an in. What's yours?
I feel like both. I'm both.
Depends
Sometimes,
on the day and the mood. And
exactly.
I hear that.
Yeah, you can't put me in a box. I know someone who said that recently. My conversation for another day. Anyway, save or spend? I'll answer for Zuu.
Do you know?
Zuu is
Both
such a
too.
great saver, guys. Like, let me just open Zoo's keys. Like, Zuu is the reason why I save. Zuu, like, tracks, and my friend Benoit, to shout out to Benoit, like, these people, understand what financial freedom is.
Yeah.
Because they really track like their expenses. They know what they are spending their money on. It's so great. Like me, I tried and I keep like breaking.
Yeah.
But Zuu is like very consistent and Benoit too. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, save or spend. Maybe just because you are tracking doesn't mean you are not
exactly.
spending.
Tracking doesn't mean you're not spending. So I think I'm both, honestly. It depends on how much money I have and depends on the women in my life.
Hey, woman.
Women.
Ah, okay.
I
Sure.
mean, my mother is a woman and my sister
True,
is a woman.
fact,
So.
fact. Voice note or text message?
Voice note. Wow.
You know what?
I'm both.
So let me change it. Text message or calls.
It depends on who I'm talking to. But
Text
message.
prefer text message.
Yeah.
Me, I'll call you right now.
Yeah.
Me, I'll call you right now.
It depends on who I'm talking to and what we have to talk about. Because if it's like some things, if you are doing it on text, it will take like 3 hours and you can have a 10 minutes call and just finish. So
True.
it depends.
And I think for me, I've noticed that my brain moves much faster than my hands. So I tend to make a lot of mistakes like when I'm texting.
true,
Like because I'm like my brain is like on fire. Like I'm
true.
saying so much.
It's
So
true.
I actually don't really like texting as much. I prefer to like call.
I feel send you a text. You read it for like 5 minutes.
You'll
What
be like,
the
what's this?
hell does this mean?
Me myself, I'll read. I'll be like, oh no, and I have to come back.
Yes.
I hope it's. I don't know if it's a condition, but like anyway. So I just have one more. Take a risk or play it safe, just in general. Are you a risk taker or you're more like risk averse? Is that it?
I think I'm more risk averse, but I think I'm more risk averse. Definitely more risk averse.
How about me? What do you think?
Maybe you are more into risk than I am, but you're still.
I'm still pretty much averse
Yeah.
too, as well. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, thanks for playing with me. That was interesting.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
one that's on your head, that you, like on your mind that you want to ask.
I'm trying not to be foolish.
I know. I'm very proud of you for that.
I did. Okay, let's keep it simple. Garden wedding or church wedding?
Hey, that's very tough.
Yeah.
A church wedding in a garden.
What are you talking about? Oh my god.
No, but
Anyway,
definitely I'll lean towards a garden wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like nature and I just think the aesthetic it would be nice.
Yeah.
And
Recently I went for a garden. Shout out to Selwyn and Nadia. They did their wedding in a
that
garden.
wedding was nice.
It wasn't a joke,
Really
yeah.
fun, yeah.
It was so beautiful, but again, I've also been to another garden wedding before, also in Ibri. Both of them were in Ibri. And the rain,
Oh,
Charlie.
God.
So
Do
it's
you-
risky. It's risky.
At first, I never used to understand like why people like get so. I mean, obviously, sometimes you should be devastated about, but like they get so devastated because like
They
their
cost
cost
too.
stuff are so expensive.
It
It's not even about. Don't tell
my
me that I'm
God.
fine. Though I'll be fine, but the money no, she cannot shit.
Charlie. And the rain, it wasn't like it rained for like 4 or 5 hours.
no.
You had to go in some room B and go and do the wedding day.
No,
Charlie.
literally the worst. I would not wish that even on my worst enemy.
It's crazy.
All right, so back to my topic about African parents and the fact that they might or they never really seem to see their children grow. So yeah, so what's your thoughts on this? Do you think it's
African
true, or-
is
okay, let's even narrow it down. I feel like we don't have like enough information to talk about African parents as a whole.
So
even
in
though there
our
might
experiences,
be similarities.
yeah,
So
but
let's say Ghanaian.
I'm sure people can relate.
Yeah,
still,
they can definitely relate. So yeah.
So I'm going to speak from my own personal experience. My
Yeah.
grandma, as you people know, I'm not a child. Yeah, I'm grown.
When you say I'm not a child, you've killed them. They don't want to hear that.
My grandma, if I go to a house and it gets to 6 o'clock, please go home. Hey, it's getting dark. Hurry up. I'm like, Grandma, I will not say it to my mama. And I'm like, yo,
Are you aware I'm driving myself back? First
3
of all.
3 a.m. last night, and I did a road top. You don't know what I was doing yesterday?
Yeah.
And at 6 o'clock, you're telling me I should go home. So in her mind, I'm still this small boy.
Yeah.
My mom too is the same, but you have to tell them that you relax.
Yeah.
I'm grown, baby. So relax for me. But my grandma, she will not understand it. So yeah, they never see you as a grown up. They don't, yeah.
True. I think I don't have the privilege you have to still have grandparents. So I don't know what that experience is like. But talking from my parents' point of view, I think we need to also talk about let's even talk about firstborns, middle borns, and like last borns. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm a last born. So
I'm
I
a
think
firstborn.
yeah, I think I would be honest and say that I think my parents are a bit more like lenient and respecting of my age than they were for my siblings. In that, are they still strict? Yes. But I think they allow me to be more of an adult than than when my sisters were home. So yeah, fine, I agree, guys. Yes, I've said it.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a lot, but I think the blasting is still there. Like, in as much as like I'm old, I have a job, I make my own money. I think because I still live with my parents, like for them, like once you're under my roof, my rules. So
Yeah.
the blasting it still comes when you come home late. Like, why have you done this? Come and do this, come and do that. Like, it's still there for me.
Hey, for me as a firstborn son, which is this different from a firstborn daughter,
Daughter,
right?
yeah.
So firstborn son, I think initially when you're the firstborn, I always remind people that every parent, this is their first time having kids. Like they don't have any experience or practice or anything. So it's your first time having kids. So your firstborn is like you trying out these things for the first time. And so sometimes you might get better with your secondborn or your thirdborn and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Always depends on you.
Yeah.
Depends on the person. So I think with me, they were a little strict. I mean, I was also a naughty boy. Let's put it out there.
Oh wow. How God has changed your life.
Yeah, I was very stubborn. I was one of those kids who's like, if you jay your ID, he's trying to die. Like, I was one of those kids. So yeah, I think they were very strict at some point, and it kind of carried into when I became the way I am today, like very chill, very, laid back. And I'm like, guys, I'm not the same guy I used to be. Like, relax for me.
That's very valid.
Point. Yeah. But I think, like I said, firstborn son, my sister is also a firstborn daughter.
Yeah.
So even though she's a secondborn, and actually we're only two, so the lastborn, she's still the first daughter. So she also has like a whole other experience that she's going through that I cannot relate to.
Yeah.
So I think comparing myself, I think I have more freedom.
Yeah.
And it's more lenience. But I will add that I created that for myself by being a rebel.
True. I think when it comes to like parents, like African parents, it's almost as if there should be some factor of like moving out of what they streamline as the status quo to be able to earn some of like that respect of being like an adult. But before I go into that, I think from my experience, because we are all girls, it's a very perfect, clear distinction of a firstborn child, secondborn, and then the lastborn. And I had this conversation with like my friends. We had like an extended conversation. It was very funny because there was like somebody as a middleborn, firstborn, when we were all like having conversations. And my friend who was a middleborn and me as a lastborn, we were talking about how the firstborns always feel like they are parents. Like they take up that road. They take it upon themselves to be your parents.
Yeah.
And we finding like our friend who is a firstborn was also like saying that like, yes, but we have to do that because from the very beginning of when we were young, like where we were growing up, we've always been told to take care of your sister. Like even if you're in school, check on your sister. So like they have been conditioned to feel like to take care of us. And we are like, yeah, we get it, but why do you act like a small mommy? We don't see you as a small mommy. We see you as a big sister. So we respect you, but within a certain boundary. Like, don't come and tell me that, why have you put your dress here? Or close your laptop? Or why haven't you done your homework? Like, you are not a mother. Do you get it? And then they also have that argument of, I am not a mother, but I have experienced what you have not experienced, and I'm trying to advise you kind of thing. And we just kept going on round and round and round, like back and forth, trying to justify. And I think like that is like a little bit of a digression from what we're talking about. But that antic too is also valid, there, where it's like they've been given a responsibility. The middleborn is also kind of like in the middle. Somebody is on them. They are supposed to be on someone else. So they are just like all over the place. And there's a lastborn who has all the privileges. And then it's just like a cycle as well.
So my thoughts on that. So like I said, firstborn son, firstborn daughter. I think for the beginning parts of our lives, I was like the parent figure in terms of the sibling dynamic. But because my sister is a girl,
there was just so much
it got to a point where she kind of like, if let's say my parents have gone out and they want someone to cook or something, they wouldn't call me. They'll call her, and then she'll be trying to put it on me, and we'll be trying to bounce it off each other and things. But so I think I've kind of been on both sides, and I really understand like being a parent is hard. Once you have a child who's old enough to do ABC, bro, you need help. And as you are there in this African setting, you see the place, you wash it. The hall, you sweep it. The windows, you clean it.
Yes.
Like you work, because it's hard.
Yeah.
And they're also working, like they are going to work, they're trying to find money, pay fees, all these things. So no matter what and the thing is, if something happens, it's like in the office, if something happens, they go to the person in charge, the supervisor,
exactly.
the senior person in the room. When something happens at home, you are the oldest. Why did this happen?
Fact.
And it's your fault. You should have been watching your sibling.
Fact.
Why did you allow this to happen? So I mean,
I feel like it's a double-edged sword in that you are giving the child a responsibility, a sense of responsibility, which is helpful for like leadership roles, etc. But in the same vein, like as we the last borns and middle child children feel like you are sort of also giving someone a lot of a responsibility at a very young age. That sort of conditions them to have a kind of mindset that is almost like traumatic, and controlling, because they've been conditioned to feel like you are my responsibility, which is also not fair to them, because they also were children and just needed to also be children.
They also don't want to get in trouble. So it's like, if I know that Afi is climbing this TV stand and she's likely to fall down, my instinct is to leave her to fall, so that's when you're kids, like there's this rivalry. I want you to be hurt and things, but at the end of the day, I will get in trouble for allowing it to happen. You can even get
beaten and I will even be left free. Exactly. She's small, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Exactly. So oh God, you just reminded me of stories. So it's like I can't allow this to happen to her, because it goes bites me in the ass. So I have to stop it.
Exactly. So but then I don't know. I feel like Charlie, the parents need to also relax for their firstborns and let them also experience childhood. But I don't think it's even unique to just like African parents. I think that dynamic is everywhere. Probably the middle child, first child, last.
Because I saw this thing on Instagram once on a podcast where they were saying no two siblings have the same parents.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a very interesting.
And it's so true, because you have the same people, right, as your parents, but let's say your parents had you at 25 and then they had your siblings at 30. The people that they were at 25 and the people that they are at 30
is
completely different. So each of us have had different experiences.
I'm a perfect example.
I'll
say it with my chest. Like I know that like sometimes my sisters feel like my parents are very lenient with me. But like you've said, they had my sisters, even though our age gap is not wide, I think they experienced my sisters at different stages in their lives. And then they also saw that like at the end of the day, like it's not that deep.
They've had practice.
They've had enough practice. Like it's not that deep. And I think the dynamic of like having an older child has never really played out in my house before. So my sisters don't realize that they were never my age and still at home, if that makes sense. They left the house much younger than I did. So maybe within the last 3 years, the leniency that I have gotten may seem like they were not being treated fairly, but they were never that age
to be there.
Exactly. So the dynamic is the same, but not really.
And so also, so not to, you tell me if it's fine. I'll come to give you like an example.
Okay.
In terms of the leniency thing, how I remember we were out yesterday and I think your dad called you and you had to say where you were and everything.
Yeah.
And we're with, should I say your friends' names? Is it fine?
Pentatonics 1 and Pentatonics 2.
And the Pentatonics, I was with some of them. And then one of them was like, I feel you're like 30. And then now that you've mentioned it, this is the first time your parents are having like a 30-year-old child in the house. So if your sister had been there when they were 30, they probably wouldn't even call you, because they know that okay, sister 1 and sister 2 managed it, so you can probably manage it as well.
Exactly.
Because for me, they don't really call me.
But you're also a guy. I feel like the dynamics are also very different when it's like a male child and a female
because
child.
I know that if my sister and I are out at the same time, they'll call my sister first. So I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic here.
I think it makes sense what you're saying.
Makes sense. So let's talk about respect though.
Okay.
Like I feel like African parents, Ghanaian parents, or African adults are obsessed
with respect.
With respect. I think it's worse in some countries. Like I think Nigeria is crazy. But in Ghana, we also have like people are so obsessed with respect. Like you can be walking on the streets. I think now because I'm also an adult, nobody says it to me. But when I was younger, I never really used to greet strangers because
you're a stranger. Why should I talk to you?
They said don't talk to strangers. So I'll just walk past you, and there'll be once in a while like they'll be like,
hey, so you can't greet.
You can't greet
your elders. You are passing. You can't greet.
Who raised you? Hey, they'll be asking you like some questions. I'm like, hey, Charlie, is it that deep? You don't know me. If I greet you, how will you change your life?
Exactly.
You know. So yeah, I don't know what do you think about that culture of demanding respect? Like, we need the respect from the children.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of a give and take thing, but I think children should give a basic level of respect to adults. That's a fact, and even their own peers. I think respect is something that you should give. It's a basic thing that you should give human beings. So, for example, this greeting thing, if I saw like a random stranger and we didn't have eye contact, I may not necessarily see the reason why I should greet them. But if I entered, like maybe in school, there's a teacher, something, like you have to greet.
Yeah.
Or if I am interacting with an adult, there's some sort of respect I need to give them, whether I know them or not. That's basic. But there's certain forms. I think the problem with some of the African parents or adults is that they have a perception of what respect is. And if you give them anything less than that, they find you disrespectful. That's where I have a problem. Like if, for example, like this greeting thing, I've seen an adult and I'm like, oh, good afternoon. And the adult says, good afternoon, how are you? And I say, I'm fine. And I walk off. One adult can be fine with it, which is maybe not possible. Another one can be like, hey, but I've not finished talking to you. Why have you walked off? I've given you the basic respect of greeting you and answering your question. Like, why do I need to still stand there and answer other questions? You get it?
Yeah.
But in the African setting, we are not taught that. Like, you can't tell an adult that, but I've already greeted you. Why are you asking me additional questions? That's like very disrespectful. But it's actually a genuine question. It's like, I've already greeted you. Like, we've already had an interaction. So like, what's up? Why should I still stand here?
Do you feel
But it's just, they don't see it like that. It's like, hey, you don't respect.
Do you feel like adults and parents feel like you are a disrespectful person?
That's like me, Afi.
Yeah.
I think I do get that sometimes because for me, I like to ask why. That's the thing. So I get that experience. I like to ask why. And I think a lot of adults find that disrespectful. And I think it's even deeply rooted even in our religious settings, because most of the Ghanaian population identify as Christian, I think. And unfortunately or fortunately for us, most of the Christian institutions may not answer certain questions. Like if you have a question about the religion and you don't know, and they don't know the answer, instead of saying, I don't know, they are defensive of, don't ask God that question. Just believe. That's his faith. And then we are conditioned like that aside religion, multiple ways in that direction, and it spirals. So when it comes back to the parental setting, when you ask adults why, and they don't know the answer, or they feel like your mind is not developed enough to understand the answer, they take offense. And it's like, why are you asking? You don't respect. Don't ask me why, just do it. Or don't ask me why, just go. Do you get it?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm someone who always wants to understand the why. Yeah. Not because I'm being disrespectful, I don't want to do it. It's like I genuinely want to know like why you are asking me to do that. And I've seen that actually sometimes causes a power clash, especially between me and my dad. Because for my sisters, like it's like women, like the man of the house has spoken. Like everybody should go home, go to their room and sleep. I will ask why. I can ask why. Like I can genuinely ask why. Like, oh, we are all watching this cartoon together, or we are all watching this movie together. It's Home Alone. I know we sleep at 8, but it's left with 15 minutes. So why do we have to go now? Why can't we just stay for 15 minutes? Instead of answering, okay, this is just an example. I'm not saying that's what my dad said. Instead of answering that, oh, because you are going to school and you need 8 hours of sleep, so you really actually need to go at 8 so that you can wake up at this time. It's like you are disrespectful. Why are you asking that question? Just go and sleep. So then we end up having children that don't ask questions, very shy, because in as much as asking questions is good, definitely a child will step on your toes a few times when they are trying to learn, but we don't see it like that. It's like, no, just keep quiet and don't be disrespectful, just do it. And that is the problem that I have faced, like, as I'm growing up or whatever. How about you?
I think.
I really spoke wish.
You spoke.
I hope it made sense, though.
It made sense.
Yeah.
I think I can sort of relate, in some instances, but generally, growing up in my home and the school I went to, we were encouraged to ask questions.
Exactly.
So, if I don't know, something is happening, they will tell you, to ask. They'll actually tell you to ask and understand why. If you're in class and you don't understand, ask a question. Why don't you understand? And it was the same thing. My dad is a teacher, so he was always ready to answer questions. So I think I even with that though, there's some instances where if you ask a question, it means you don't respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my parents also do answer questions when I ask them why.
Yeah. So it depends on sometimes it's
Context.
like well, for me, I know why they are saying what they are saying,
Yeah.
but I have to ask because I want to know.
Yeah.
I know why, but I want you to say it. And the fact that you want me to say it as a parent, it means you don't respect. That's how they see it sometimes.
Yeah, that's how they see it, yeah.
Yours is genuinely like you just want to know.
Yeah.
My own is like, Charlie, I'm stubborn. Like,
You see.
I was a stubborn boy.
Exactly. So I think also I can't blame the parents 100% because they sometimes may genuinely also misunderstand.
It's like when someone's
your
being rude to you, but like in a sneaky way, you know.
Exactly.
And because usually you know, if let's say the way you ask is the same way I would ask it in a rude way,
They will
think that yours is rude.
Exactly.
Because Zuu did it this way.
Exactly.
And Zuu meant it in a rude way.
Exactly.
So,
So it's a little bit complicated. Yes.
Yeah.
And let's also talk about how, like, I think why do African parents find it difficult to say sorry?
I think we'll address that after this break because it's a deep topic. So let's go on a break and we'll be right back. Hi guys, real quick. Have you ever walked past somebody on the street and wondered when their last meal was?
That's exactly what Daily Bread Africa is tackling. They are a non-profit organization serving hot meals to people on the street in Accra every single day.
Right now, they serve up to 20 meals a day. But this June will be the 6th month of their operation. And to celebrate, they want to increase it to 100 meals a day.
It's not just about food, it's about dignity, hope, and showing love to people who need it the most. And of course, you can be a part of this by donating food, groceries, cash, anything that can help this cause.
One hot meal is just 13 cedis. That can make a huge impact. In fact, there's an event coming up on the 28th of June. Please be there, let's support these people, and let's put more food in the hands of people who need it.
Please don't forget to share their videos on your social media platforms. And of course, you can support via the links below. There's a GoFundMe, so yes, just go ahead. Anywhere you are in the world, you can support.
Let's make sure everyone gets their daily bread. Welcome back from that very important break. And as Afi said before we left, why don't African parents like saying sorry? Afi, why?
I have no idea, man. I think they might think saying sorry would reduce their respect. It comes back to what we're talking about, like respect. They think in order for you to respect them, they need to be perfect and know what they are doing all the time.
Can we compare it to, because Ghanaian girls too also do not like to say sorry.
That's such a lie.
Oh, it's true. Maybe you say sorry, but a lot of Ghanaian girls.
Are you serious?
Oh no, they don't like to say sorry.
So if they do something wrong, what did they do?
Like it's like what the parents will beat around the bush. Oh, do you want to eat? Are you hungry? Those things, pass here, pass
Is
here.
it true?
Oh yes,
is it true?
Yeah, it's true. They are just like African parents.
Interesting. No.
I'm telling you.
Okay, no. Then it's the same. Then that's where it starts from.
That's where it starts from me. Because African parents is like, let's say they've done something and they feel bad.
Let me ask you, have you eaten?
The first part is to start with the food. Have you eaten? Wouldn't you eat?
I was in my room the whole time after you blasted me. So unless there's a midget that creeps through the window to be bringing me food, I don't know which food. I don't know how my answer is going to be yes.
Me, I used to go on hunger strike.
No, you kill your mother.
Yes. Because I know that, hey, when you do that, hey, mama, like,
Why do they like food like I don't like
it's like
African
I've done something
parents.
to my mother, like to pay him more than anything that I say I will not eat.
Hey.
So like I'm hungry, oh, I want to eat, but
You have
I
to
know
show
that
her that,
you have
yeah,
to
I'm
show her that,
really
yeah,
hurt.
what you did there pay me. So
I can't even eat. I've lost my appetite.
Like sometimes she lash me. I say I can't eat. My stomach is hurting me. I can't eat. Like, nobody has beaten me like this before, so I can't.
That's
But I had
crazy.
to go eat in the Charlie. I was hungry. Oh.
Do you know my parents never really like use corporal punishment?
Have you had the last one?
No, all of us.
Oh, okay, yeah, girls.
But we are girls, yeah. So the shouting was enough.
Because my sister too barely. I feel my sister her whole life like once or something.
Yeah, I can
As
count the
for
number of
me,
times.
oh god, our stories, stories. They lash me some.
Yeah, so why don't they say sorry? I think it's just like I'm saying, they just feel like it would dial down or reduce the respect we have for them because we'll be like, you cry, you're not even perfect. Look at the thing, you've done something, you cry, you've come to say sorry.
It's true.
You
Because
had
if you
your
say sorry, it means you are wrong.
Exactly.
That's what it means.
Exactly.
And they don't want to be wrong.
Exactly.
That's true. I agree with you.
Which is wild though, because for me, I find it's more noble like when someone I really, really respect makes a mistake and they're able to like actually be real and come to terms with it and say, oh, honestly, I did this and I apologize. My respect for you actually goes 10
actually,
or 5
let me
times.
give my mom some credits. No, I think in the last 10 years, she would say sorry. She would tell you sorry. Yeah.
That's good.
So shout out to her for that. But generally, they don't want to say. It's like
I think my mom
like
says. How about your dad? Because I think my mom says sorry too.
No, he did.
I think the men. I think as they grow old,
no. Forget.
Sorry, Ke.
Forget. Hey, you want to tell me I was wrong as a man, the father of the house? It's not possible.
You can never be wrong.
No. I was never wrong. You are wrong for thinking I'm wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we are the next generation. Some of us are the next generation of parents, right? And
you still be an uncle. Look, I don't remember what we were talking about how like the uncles and aunties
it's true.
will be blasting. Yeah, because I mean I don't have kids yet, but like I have apologized to my nephews before, and I've seen like how it makes our relationship better. Like if I genuinely like you've done something, I've blasted you. And then the crying is serious. Like sometimes go back and I say, I'm sorry. Like I think I shouted a little bit too much. That's when we are talking to you, just listen. How you have to,
interestingly.
But you see, but that's also a problem.
Yes, that's also a problem too. You just reminded me of because my mom too. When I was younger, when I was younger, like if let's say something happens, I'll intentionally cry. I'll add some to the crying.
It's a problem.
Oh yeah, bad boy. Gaslighting, manipulation. I was doing it to my parents.
So that's why now you are good. You finished doing it in your childhood. Yeah.
I've left it behind. But yeah, I used to cry. I'll be screaming and rolling on the floor and stuff. And eventually she'll come and say, she'll feel bad, obviously, because like that's her child. She'll come and say sorry. And I'm doing it because I know that she'll come and say sorry. And I want her to say sorry.
Exactly.
Even though I know I'm wrong.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I'm wrong and she had said sorry, it means I've won.
Yeah.
That was how it was in my mind.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to know when to say sorry.
But there's also another layer. What I was even saying, I realized that even in the sorry, sometimes or majority of the time they add a caveat of I'm sorry, but next time don't do that. And it used to piss me off. But now that I've grown older and I do that to my nephews, I realize that it's because they don't want the apology to take away from the fact that you still did something wrong. Even though you did something wrong and I went overboard as well, I apologize for that. But that doesn't mean you should still go ahead with it. It's not the right.
Yeah, me saying sorry doesn't mean you should do it again.
Exactly that.
I hear that. But I think children are smarter than we think.
Exactly.
In Africa, it's like we think that children are dumb.
Yeah.
You can actually have a conversation with them and tell them that this thing you did was wrong. Even though I'm apologizing, it doesn't mean that you should continue this behavior.
100%.
I think we need to adopt more of that.
100%. Yeah. I think that thing, and I think I saw it somewhere. So sorry for using your children as experiments to my sisters, but I saw it somewhere where like this thing, like don't dumb down children, like talk to them like adults.
Yeah.
So every time my nieces and nephews come over to my house, because my house is now grandma and grandpa's house, I actually sit them down and have like
proper conversations,
dialogue with them. Yeah. And I started this when they were about like 2, even though like the English is not English. I'm not even understanding what they are saying. I would have like a proper conversation with them. And obviously when they were 2, it was not meriting much, but you could see that they understood that you were communicating to them. So they would also try and say something. Yeah. And now it's very interesting to see some of the things that my niece can say. Like if you sit her down and like, oh, how are you? I'm fine. How was school today? For context, she's like 3. Good. Like, what's your favorite subject right now? This, why do you like it? Why not? What is something that you don't like in school? I ask those kind of questions and, oh, how did that make you feel? And it's very interesting when you hear the kind of things that she says back or my nephew say back. And as you're saying, then you sit down and you're like, wow, like I'm really missing out on a lot because I am not asking these questions. Because those questions actually give you like an understanding of their personalities as well.
Yeah.
So that's just like, by the way. So please have proper conversations with your children.
conversations,
Ask
yeah.
them questions you'd ask like your husband or your sibling, like, oh, how was school today? Did you enjoy it? Why or why not? So why did you give me that face?
I'm not. You said your husband.
I said,
Sorry, the child in me came out. But yeah. So let's talk about love and control as parents. Like, the thing is, because they love us, they try to control us,
exactly.
right? So I mean, if you love, you can always understand. Like, if you love something, you want to protect it, and to a lot of people, the best way to protect something is to control where it goes, what comes around it, what
So they are just being
overprotective, controlling. And I think growing up, I definitely had like a controlling and overprotective childhood. And growing up in that sort of like space, it's murky. It's like you want to be protective, but you also want them to like go out and make their mistakes.
Yeah.
But sometimes the mistakes are hard
They
to
are
come
too
back
much.
from. Yeah. They're hard to come back from. So it's like, what do you think is the right balance?
I think it comes back to what we're talking about. I've forgotten the name of the movie that I said you should watch on Netflix.
Adolescence?
I think it was Adolescence. I'm not
series?
sure. No, it's not a series. The one I'm talking about, is it a series? Yeah, it was a series, Adolescence, yeah. It was a very simple storyline, but it was very heavy.
Yeah, it's like 4 episodes or something.
Yes, and in the last episode, you see that the dialogue between the father and then the mother shows how much they really glossed over having interactions with their child. I think in order for you, I'm coming to answer your question, don't worry. In order for you to be able to love someone or love your children without controlling them or without without the fear of thinking that they're going to make a mistake beyond something that they can come out of, the main basis is setting that relationship and communication with them from the very beginning. Because using my niece and nephew as an example, when I have a dialogue with my niece, I've understood that she's confident. She understands like what she wants. This is the kind of personality that she's building.
Okay.
So with someone like that, you know the kind of mistakes she might end up in, and you can start to like just guide her along the way. And then you also know the kind of things that she can do that would be positive for her growth in that direction. My nephew is a little bit more shy. He's a little bit more like your perception of him is important to you.
Okay.
You get it? Like if you say, oh, I'm not happy to see you today, you can literally spoil his whole day. As against my niece, if you tell her that I'm not happy to see you today, she'll say, I'm happy to see you today. Why aren't you happy to see me today? So you know the kind of person she is. So when it comes to him, I know that there are certain things that you shouldn't take lightly. If he says, I don't want to go to school today, or I'm not happy in my class, it's something that you should take seriously, because maybe what if he's being bullied, or what if somebody is doing something that he doesn't like, because you've seen the kind of personality he has, as against saying that, oh, why don't you want to go to school? All your friends are going to school, you're stubborn, kind of things. If you do all of that, you wouldn't have to control the person, because you already understand the kind of personality the person is developing, and then you can guide them. So that is where my take is.
I agree with that,
respect
actually.
to like the balance.
I agree. I think, like you said, it comes back to the whole conversation thing. Like, the more you talk to just human beings, people in general, the more you understand them, you understand what they like, what they don't like, you understand them better as a person. And so I feel like there's some things where somebody can come and tell me something about Afi did this. I'll be like, it's a lie.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't believe it, because I know who you are. But if I didn't know you, I'll be like, hey, really? Like,
exactly.
I'm not sure about it. You know what I mean? So I think the same with your kids. Like, once you understand your kids and you know them.
You know them properly.
You know them properly.
Genuinely.
Like, if let's say they're going for a birthday party, and let's say by this time they're 16, so you know that 100% there's going to be drugs there. There's going to be alcohol
it's
there.
Scary, oh. Hey,
there's going to be drugs and
scary
alcohol.
what I've been hearing these days.
Charlie.
So the Auntie Afi has come out. It's worrying, oh.
Yeah.
That's my character now. It's very worrying, oh. Anyway. Yeah.
So you know that it's going to be there, but because you trust your kid enough that I've told you that don't do these things.
Yeah.
When they're out there, you kind of feel like, okay, I don't expect them to do this. Or even if they do this, they'll try and do it with sense.
No, but it also brings about the sense of responsibility on the child, and then the respect.
Yes.
Because it's like, wow, my mom trusts me and respects me enough to know that if she's allowing me to go here, she's not coming to just show up there and say, where are you? Where's my daughter? I've been calling. Like, there's that respect. So you also have a sense of responsibility. And then a child is, don't get us wrong, there are some children that after all this, they'll still go and misbehave.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're always outliers. But at least for the most of the majority, they will have a sense of responsibility that, oh, I forgave you.
Yeah.
Because like my mother or my father respects and knows that I wouldn't do that. And most of the time, you notice that people whose parents are lenient and allow them to just be free, in as much as they might find themselves in weird positions or compromising positions, they never ever make, not never ever, that's cap, but they don't necessarily make certain grave mistakes that they can't come back from. But the children that are sheltered, when they are in that same situation,
give them small taste of freedom. Hey,
the mistake, because the moment you remove your eagle or hawk eyes from them, error 404, and that is what we need to prevent from happening. That they should be able to think and then make decisions for themselves. And then
bringing it to a personal level, do you feel like you had that sort of respect and understanding and stuff coming from your family?
I think okay, so shout out to my mom. I think when I started the podcast, like doing content creation and all of that, like obviously it's a new field that people don't understand. Like my family was not exactly like excited that, oh my God, you're always out there. They were genuinely worried and were thinking about the positive and negative effects about it. And I haven't really had like a proper sit down conversation with everybody in my house, family of 5, except for my mom, where I sat her down and I had a conversation with her, and not even just content creation, just my life as a whole, my work, everything. We had a proper conversation about it. And I think after that conversation, her approach towards me has completely changed.
Well, she understands
because she understands me better, exactly. And it has even given me a like higher sense of responsibility that if she says something like, oh, don't do this, or hey, the way you've been coming home late, like please try and come home early, I see that she's giving me respect. She's not even saying come home early. She's actually saying it like with respect. Bro, like I want to go home early because of my mother, because I know that like she has given me that respect, as against like maybe someone just lashing out. So I think now I'm getting that respect more, basically because we had that sit down conversation. But before that, nobody really understood what I was doing, and there was always that power clash, if that makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
That's my father there. He just like it's like, you know how men are, it's like once the mother has to make sure that everything is fine. So.
Yeah, as she's fine, then he's fine.
But if you get out of pockets there, he go.
You step in.
You step in right now. Yeah. So I think everything is good in my house now. How about you?
Kind of similar, because recently I've been like putting myself in my mom's shoes to trying to understand how she feels, where she's like always worked in like the corporate space, and she's had a child who
has gone to lock his hair. He wants to be doing
the barb. Because I remember when I was in primary school, high school, everything, like they always used to be like, bro, you're so smart. Yeah. And they had these like high expectations, like, oh, Zoo's going to do this, he's going to do this. Then I started my life. I quit my job. I went to do Rasta. I said I'm doing podcasts. What's wrong with this boy? What's going on here? So she definitely didn't understand. Even up to now, I don't think she fully understands.
No, they won't.
Yeah, but she understands more now.
They only understand now because like people around them understand.
Yeah.
And then they also see us like collaborating with respectable brands. So just like, even though I don't understand it, if these brands want to work with these people, they are definitely not doing anything negative.
Right,
yeah. So I think it's just like a step-by-step process.
Yeah. It's taken, but I also I haven't started, like you said, I haven't done that, started down.
I think you should try it.
I think I have to try it, yeah. I didn't want to because I know for her, it always circles back to, okay, but you know, you have to cut your hair, and you have to go to the office.
And it comes back to what we've been talking about. It's a cycle. Yeah. So that cycle, you have to break the cycle. Yeah. Because in your mind, you understand that African parents are like this.
Yeah.
And we can't have a sensible conversation.
I don't even want to bother myself.
Exactly. Yeah. And then that's what becomes when you become a father. When you become a father and you are like, I don't want to bother myself to explain myself, just do it. So it's the same cycle. So you have to break it. But actually, you just say, Mommy, this weekend
I'll be talking to you soon.
Exactly. I'm taking you for lunch or this. We are gonna have a conversation. She will be shaking. She'll say, what's going on? Tell me. So make sure that you just give her like a 24-hour heads up.
I have to do it with my sister because she's the calming.
The buffer solution.
Well, when we start doing
it won't get there. That's the thing.
Yeah, but just in case,
It won't get there.
Oh yeah, I think the nature of the conversation there is won't get there, but
Yeah, it depends on the approach. Yeah,
You know.
and you have to give the disclaimer like, "Oh, I'm calling you to have a civil conversation because
Yeah.
this,
Oh, no,
and
but
because I
we-
genuinely want you to." I don't think it will get there.
yeah, we don't even really fight, honestly.
Yeah.
Just once in a while, that, and most
Our
of the
clash.
time, you know how I am. Like, I'll intentionally push your buttons so that you.
You people, you see. Oh God! When I say this, then people would think that, oh my God.
Oh man.
The quiet ones, they are dangerous. So those of us who, whatever we say,
But,
think we are
yeah.
saying it. We are just here for you. What you see is what you get. This one.
Anyway, but yeah, this conversation reminded me of a Black Mirror episode. This was season 4, episode 2. It's called Archangel. And they
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah, I
after
remember
nearly
that.
losing her daughter, her mother invests in a new technology that allows her to keep track of her. Remember, like she
Yeah,
had
yeah, I
this
remember.
iPad. She was tracking her daughter's every
I
move.
remember.
Yeah.
What happened in the end?
I think the daughter almost died. She kind of like realized and she tried to like escape and everything. The mother was stressing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
watch
was watch Black Mirror season 4 episode 2 is
Yeah.
very. I remember watching it. I was like, oh my god, like this is triggering. Like she was
Yeah.
really trying to control her daughter. Like
Yeah.
she had video surveillance in the room and she had a tracker on her and everything. So yeah, please. I think what we are trying to say basically is instead of trying to control, your children, like
The sad thing is that the parents, they are not listening to watching.
they are
our
not even
podcast.
listening. No.
But anyway, for you, so that when you are a parent, you remember this.
yes.
Because they too, they had parents, and then the cycle is continuing.
Exactly. So break the cycle. So instead of trying to control people like that, just understand them better and allow people to make mistakes. But obviously, if you feel like this, the way this person is, because now you understand them, the way this person is, if they go here, the mistake that they will make, problem, then that one they're stepping.
Yeah.
So,
And I think one thing I said to my mom is, I know you love me, but you don't love me more than I love myself. In the sense that, like, if I saw that
hey,
there
boss.
was danger there, if written danger, like if you step here, you die. Like I'll be like, you know what? Let's go.
Do you know,
like,
I think that's another thing why they don't see us as adults. They still
Yeah.
feel like, because if you're a child, if there's a child and there's fire, the child will go to the
yes,
fire.
we'll go to the fire. Exactly.
But when you pass a certain age, you know that fire is hot and I'm not trying to go there.
Exactly.
But they still feel like
You're a child.
you're a
and
child
you
and you're
enter.
going to go there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I was saying. That like I get it, and I love that like you care about me and all of that.
Yeah.
But if I make a mistake at this age, then it's part of God's plan for my life.
Yeah.
Because I would not, by my own rational self, walk into a mistake. That means that I assessed the situation and I genuinely felt that this direction was going to bring a positive outcome. And that was why I embarked on whatever journey that was. So if I do it and I come out, I expect that, like, as my mom, when I come out of it or I make a mistake, you support me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. But just know that I will never get up one day and say that I am going to do something that is going to cause harm to me or my family.
Yeah.
So just like know that, like, you don't love me more than I love myself. I love myself too. And I'll do my best to make sure that the love you have for
Have
me
you been
is-
blasting your parents?
No. But I feel like this is a blasting.
No, me, I've been blasting them.
No, I don't blast
Yeah,
them.
me,
Hey.
I have to blast. Like my mother, no, not them, my mother. I've been blasting them because she doesn't understand sometimes. Like,
Okay, I
like
do
what
me
you're
once
saying,
in a while.
what
Once in
you're
a while,
saying,
it's not that much.
you have to say, like, bro, like, I mean, I'm not shouting at her, but like,
Bro,
sometimes if you don't make them understand,
yeah.
because they don't see you, they still see you as it's the whole.
No, but it's true because me, I
Topic
still
we're
see
talking about.
the babies in my house. Look
As
at that. I
babies.
still say call them
Yeah.
babies, but they are grown. I say
Exactly.
my babies are coming over.
Like, even I remember my friend's brother when I was younger. My friend's brother, I first met him when he was like 2 years old.
yeah.
And I didn't see him again for like 6 years. So now he's like 8. And I met him and he was talking to me. I said, hey. I said, can you write? He said, yes. I said, hey. You see, in my mind, he was still the 2-year-old.
Exactly.
But even though I've seen like a grown
Yeah.
8-9-year-old boy, it was busting my brain how this boy can write and
Exactly.
things. Right now, he's in law school and things. I don't understand.
Crazy. Yeah, so I think
This boy
yeah,
who
we
can
just have
write,
to,
the boy who can write is in law school. What's going
it's
on?
crazy. You just have to give each other more grace and know that
Yeah.
they are growing old, we are also growing old.
Yeah.
They are doing this for the first time. You are also now learning. So like we just need to like
Yeah.
balance it off for each other. Okay.
So yeah, let's wrap it up. This has been a very interesting
Dear parents
conversation.
of Zuu and Afi, don't come for us. We are just using you for educational purposes.
You have to use what you know. I mean, case study.
Yeah, so I mean, with everybody who's watching this, like, let us know your thoughts. Like, what are your experience with your parents, your aunties, your uncles? Yeah, because Charlie, I think once we keep the conversation going and be like, yeah, okay, this is relatable, we can find a way to break the cycle.
So please finish this conversation. Hey, sentence. What am I saying? Finish the sentence. You know you're still a child in your parents' eyes when.
I don't know. That's a tough one. When, I think classic example for me, like when they call you after 8 and they ask you like, where are you? What time are you coming home?
After
Don't you know
8.
it's late? Yeah, for example, that's what I'm saying. After 8, that means that you're still like a baby in their even if like that.
Yeah, I think mine is similar to like every time I'm going out, my mother will ask me,
where are you going?
Where are you going? When are you coming back? I'm like, Mommy, don't ask me certain questions.
Hey, you're really strict on your parents.
No, you see, I know, you see, she always tells me that I'm asking because I need to know, like, you're my son, you're going out.
Hey, just like if something happens to you outside,
exactly, that's what she'll say. But I'm like, I know that's why you're asking, but another reason why you're asking is because you don't want to understand that I can take care of myself. Like, I'm grown. I can take care of myself. Like, every day I go out and I come back.
So that one day, Auntie Afi doesn't agree.
No. So sometimes I don't tell her.
No, you can't do that.
I do it.
No, you can't do that.
I've been doing it.
No, but you can't.
I will.
Do you know why?
Continue.
No, let me tell you why you can't
Tell
do that.
me.
Because as they say, if something happens to you, God forbid, touch wood.
Touch wood, yes.
Something happens to you. You know the situation where they will say, oh, where did your son say he's going? Oh, I don't know. What sort of mother is that? You can't make her that sort of mother. At least she needs to know that, so what I do now is if I don't want them to know, like if I know I'm going to maybe Mandy's house. Hey, I've mentioned my friends anyway at Kotobabi. Instead of saying that I'm going to Mandy's house, I'll say I'm going to Kotobabi. At least I've given you enough information.
Yes, I do that sometimes.
So at least tell them that I'm going to Spintex.
It depends. Sometimes, like, I'm even coming here. Like, my house is 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, where are you going? I'm like, bro. Like,
so just say, I'm just going far to the junction. At least tell them I'm a junction.
So sometimes I tell her that, like you said, the area. But like,
they'll probe.
Yes, further questions.
That one they
with
don't
who?
probe.
Why? I'm like, bro, don't be asking me questions, bro. Like, your grandma, I say your grandma, my grandma, your mother doesn't call you that. So today, where are you going? Who are you going? Like, because you are
still living, because we are all still living together. So if I do then left.
If anything happens, I'm always talking to my sister. My sister probably know where I am. So that's why I don't ask her. But I've been telling her, don't ask me where are you going? When are you coming? Like, if I come, I'll come. So all I do is I'm going out. Where are you going? Oh, around Spintex. I'll come back. I'll come late. Come at 5 a.m. That's all.
I can't say that to my house.
You see, at first I couldn't, but I had to say it. When you start, they will understand.
No, my parents will never understand.
They will understand. Trust me.
Mine too is still because I'm a girl. Like, they don't want me to come home at that time because it's dangerous.
They'll hate it. But they'll understand one day.
No, so now, okay, it's okay. Let me know if am I.
Don't give your secrets.
At this point,
your tricks.
I think, now we have an understanding. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
this
a
was
good one.
An interesting conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please let us know in the comments what your parents are like. Mention their names.
Tag
where
them.
they stay.
Let them be forwarding this video on their group chat.
Hey, WhatsApp. If you send it on WhatsApp.
Look at what these young ones are saying.
They're
telling us how to apologize to them.
They haven't started. That's why they don't know. So thank you
guys for listening, and of course always thank you to Skate for having us, hosting us. It's always amazing to be here.
Yes.
So thank you guys, and
bye.